Okay, today I'm going to try to replace the deck lid struts by myself. There's some things you got to do to get prepared for safety and get the Van Halen music going. Got that happening. And get all the snacks ready so you can properly do the job. Then just to kind of show you what shocks I've had on there before that didn't work very good. First we got the D. Tomasos, which some of the vendors sell. When I measured that on my scale, it was about 160 pounds, so that's too heavy. And I had to really cram on the deck lid to shut those, so that's no good. The next one is the one that we're all familiar with, the Mighty Lift, and that lasted about a year and a half until that gave out. You can see my bunch of them over there. Yep. And so today we're going to try the one on the far right here, which is from Pantera Parts Connection. They said theirs is about 100 pounds pressure. To back up the Mighty Lift, when I measured it, the Mighty Lift one was about 110, so now we've got a Pantera Parts Connection that makes their own. It's about 100, I believe, 90 or 100 they said. I wasn't going to measure it on the scale. I thought I might do something to that hole if I put a scale on it. So I just put them on, see how it works. Plus they also provided this nice little sleeve so you can kind of get them on there and off when you need to pretty easily. But as some of you know that might have replaced these before, if they're a different size, length, it's a little tough to do. I won't go into that in detail. You know what I'm talking about if you change different lengths. You can't just take them in, easy in and easy out. So what I did so far, got to relieve all the pressure on the struts and started out with the stick first. That's exactly the height that I need to take the struts pressure off of theirs, because there's still some pressure on there, but not much. And I'm going to leave that on there while I take the struts out, so I still have a lot of pressure, or not as much pressure on there at all. And taking the struts out, the deck lid's going to basically be resting on this wood at that time. But again, putting in different length of struts, I'm going to have to move the deck lid up and down a little bit, which the wood wouldn't work too good for. So that's why I kind of rigged up this little wood device and the straps and bungee cords. Got two that are the main ones and one black one that's kind of the safety. So that'll allow me to swing the hood up and down just a little bit so I can get the different length of strut in there. So I'll dive in there and see what happens, but I'm gonna get prepared for the work first. Chips. Actually, a year and a half when I did it, I had this running through this part of the deck lid to hold the hood up, the same kind of thing, hooked by rope. But that put a lot of pressure on here, I thought anyway, so decided to do it this way on the bracket, the same on the bracket down there, so hopefully that's a little bit better place to do it. So we'll see. One year actually the wife helped me, but she didn't hear today, so, and if any of you have handled one of the deck lids without any pressure on those struts, it's mighty heavy, so it's really almost a two-man job unless you try to rig something up like I did. So let's see what happens. One thing I forgot to mention, at least from my experience in doing this before, is you want to change the bottom one out first so it drops down a little bit. One year I went and undid that part first, and even though I had the stick there supporting the hood, it still dropped down a little bit and almost caught the underside of the hood there. So I don't know, this time I'm gonna first, let it drop down a little bit, and go from there. Just so you know, took the bottom one out, and as I thought, still there wasn't a lot of pressure off the struts, even though I had the wood up there very tight, so I had to adjust it some more. Moved it from there over to here, about a couple inches more in height I needed because the struts still dropped down even though I had good support on the hood. Well, we got bottoms up playing, so that's pretty good. Decided to put the one strut in first, the new one, before I messed with the old one, because they were about the same length, so should be doing okay. Plus, they provided one of these that slip on there, so if I take that side off, even if I drop down a little bit, the hood should stop there, but I think I'm okay. So I'm pretty solid with that wood, and actually might not have really needed the bungees, but before I start on the other side, just wanted to mention, if you're taking both struts off, you might want to check your clearance at the hood line there while you're doing it, because there might be a chance you'd hyperextend the hood a little bit into the paint. One year I almost did that, because like I said, I'm always changing these shocks for some reason, but anyway, to avoid that a little bit, I backed off the hood just slightly. But that's an area you probably want to watch if you got a close area in that spot. Well, got the second one in. It was easy to do. First one was a little problematic, like I said, the hood dropped down a little bit. But everything turned out good. I'm going to clean up. Just one more thing. Anybody who cares about the paint of their car might want to do some little taping here and there with some electrical tape. That's all I did on the edges, because there is a good chance, like I said, it drops down a bit and you're working with tools, but for those that don't care about the paint, you don't need to do that. There we go. Yep, got them both in. Nothing major. Yep, light up the fucking sky. Finally got him in. Took 2 monsters and a little bit of Drambuie and finished that up. Let's see how it actually shuts. A little tighter than I thought. So they're probably, at least from my measurements when I did it, the Mighty Lift ones were about 100, 110 on the scale. Like I said, I didn't measure these, but so I was afraid of kind of damaging the bolt part, but it's definitely stronger than when I measured the Mighty Lifts, but in between those Di Tommaso ones, so maybe it's just about right. And so we'll give them a try. Doesn't seem too bad. It is stiffer, like I said, than I thought. Just letting go of the hood. Raises up by itself. Gotta bring it down pretty good, but not too bad. Anybody afraid of the heat? Getting on those and ruin them too? What I do is sometimes when I go out and drive, these little heat wraps to go around the shocks, which works pretty good. I just drive with those on, come back, and they're still fairly cool because, as you know, you guys, when you go out driving and those are pretty tight next to the headers and everything, those struts do get pretty toasty, so maybe that'll help these over time. We'll see. But anyway, pretty much success. Didn't bust anything. Had my snacks done. Got some dead or alive going. And we're all done. Guys, so we'll see how these hold up over time from Pantera Parts Connection. Only 84 bucks. So take a look and see if they hold up. Today's February 2015. So over time we'll check it out. Whoops. Anyway, like I said, the other ones tend to hold up about a year. We'll see how these hold up, especially using the heat covers when I go out to drive. But so that's it. Just make sure when you're doing it, get some Van Halen going, get the proper safety equipment. And you're all set.